All right, guys, make a quick crypto video here on this Saturday morning. We are officially out of October, the bloody October month for crypto. Going into November 1st, you're seeing Bitcoin and altcoins up a little bit. Bitcoin back up to 110. I think we were down to like 107, 108 a few days ago. We were at 113 last week. So basically, October has been extremely volatile. We've been all over the place. In a nutshell, everybody's pretty much upset, crying, bitching on Twitter because we haven't gone into full-blown alt season yet. People are just capitulating. I love it. I think I made a video last week and I was talking about my number one indicator for bull market, bear market, what's going to happen with price is how many people are bitching on Twitter. Obviously, if everybody's bullish on Twitter, social media, whatever, Facebook, it probably means we're going to dump. But if everybody's miserable, capitulating, saying it's the end of the world, it usually means we're close to a bottom. It was bad last week, and I was enjoying it. I don't know. I think I enjoy other people's misery. I don't really know what my problem is, but I like to go on Twitter and Facebook and read all the comments of everybody miserable because their stupid altcoin bag or their Bitcoin did not make it to the price they want yet. And that's like 99% of all of Twitter right now. I mean, here's a guy. I mean, I sold everything. It's over. I'm done with crypto. I mean, this is Twitter. There's just so many. I'm done with crypto. Goodbye, boys, forever. I'm officially quitting crypto today. Every day waking up, checking the charts, seeing my coins down, finding out that I've been rug pulled or liquidated. Everything is going down. Nothing is backed up. It's all shit. Fuck this crypto shit. I sold everything. It's been a rough altcoin market. Sold all my altcoins. I'm sick of Ethereum being shitty. I don't care what you guys are going to say. I mean, even like some big YouTubers, I found this to be interesting. They're all bitching. This is Wendy O. She's been bitching. This is the worst fucking bull market ever. Just worst bull market ever. That's everybody's like basically retweeting it. Oh yeah, it's awful. So much manipulation. Blah 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 blah. This was the shittiest bull market ever. There was no euphoric blow off top. There was no this is the top moment, just rotating L1s, dying memes, failed perp chains. Every pump is sold into every break, blah, 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 blah. I mean, everybody is absolutely miserable. It's hard-pressed to find anybody who's not miserable. And if you do find somebody who's not miserable, then they get bombarded by all of the miserable people saying, you're an idiot, you don't know what you're talking about, everything's horrible. So it's almost like if you're an influencer on social media, it's almost not even worth you saying anything positive right now because all of the miserable sheep are going to come out and shut you down. I remember this, guys, in 2020 during COVID. I remember it in 2017. I remember it at the end of 2021, or excuse me, before we went into the bull market in 2021. Like, I remember all these miserable people. In fact, I was probably one of them. And it's almost like deja vu. It's like history repeating. Does that mean we're going to go into an all-out alt season in the next few months? I don't know, but never in history have you seen it where it's this low. This is almost like bear market low capitulation, bitching, negativity on social media. Like, this is kind of what you saw after FTX. A few months after FTX, Terra Luna collapsed, UST collapsed, everybody lost all their money. Sam Bankman-Fried's getting arrested. Like, this is what you saw on Twitter. I haven't seen anything like this since last cycle. And to me, there's a very good chance this represents a bottom. Does it have to represent a bottom? No, it really doesn't. The whole cycle thing could be completely screwed up. We might go bearish for the next year. I can tell you guys, if we don't go into an alt season in the next 2 months, that does mean the cycle is kind of messed up and anything could happen. We could go bullish in a month. We could go bullish in 3 months. We could go bullish in 2 years. It could be anything. And for me, it's just basically a waiting game until I get my price levels. So you're starting to see the articles on Cointelegraph. Bitcoin starts 100K capitulation as Bitcoin price metrics see big volatility. Bitcoin fell nearly 4% in October as ETF outflows closed out the month, but Bollinger Bands Bitcoin price volatility odds hit record level. Again, I've been talking about this with you guys for so long. The problem with these ETFs and these big funds, they will sell their Bitcoin just as fast as they buy it, which is why I do think that when we actually go into an actual real bear market for Bitcoin, with all of these funds selling, we could see a $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 Bitcoin, and that's not going to be good. And we really don't want to be holding for that, which is why we want to be out of the market by the time that happens, and just hopefully we get that alt season so we can get out, because I do think all these funds are going to sell. But as again, once all these funds sell, they buy just as easy as they sell. If we go bullish next week, some good news comes out with Trump, people go bullish, then basically people buy right back into these ETFs and the price pumps. It's not rocket science, folks. Back on Twitter, by this time in 2021, almost everyone had made life-changing money. Only Bitcoin and a few others made new all-time highs this run. Next bull market is 2028, 2029. Just buy and only hold Bitcoin. No more altcoins. Total capitulation. I love it. It like gives me energy every day. Like, I love it. I get up, I read it. I'm like, these are all pathetic people. Even if it's true that we didn't make any money in altcoins, it's still just to complain like that on Twitter. It's just like, it's such a loser mentality. You cannot win with that mentality. So let's hear what Benjamin Cowan has to say. He's talking about a possibility of, going bullish into 2026.
But then by mid-2026, Jerome Powell is likely going to be replaced. And he's going to be replaced by someone who's likely going to be cutting interest rates and wanting to turn the money printer back on. So the cycle that everyone wanted this cycle with altcoin, with altcoins doing better, that might actually occur next cycle. So what's really fascinating, Rand, about these cycles is they tend to flip-flop. Okay, so let me show you what I mean. If you look at the advanced decline index of the top 100 cryptocurrencies, remember how last cycle you could throw money at any cryptocurrency and there's a good chance a month later you were making good money, right? Yes. Like you didn't, like anything was going up. Yes. Look at the advanced decline index. Look at the advanced decline index in 2020 and 2021. It was going up, right? It was going up, but ever since 2021, it's been dropping. So this cycle has been harder to navigate because a lot of the gains have been concentrated in only a few coins, like Bitcoin, recently Ethereum. A few years ago it was Solana. Late last year it was XRP. Recently we've seen BNB do well, right? But it's only been concentrated in a few cryptocurrencies, whereas last cycle it was concentrated throughout the entire asset class. But if you go back to the 2017 cycle, you can see the ADI was also going down for a lot of it, right? So back then, a lot of the gains were also concentrated in Bitcoin. You had some really great rallies. We had Ethereum going up a lot back then, XRP, Litecoin, other cryptocurrencies were going up back then. But again, Bitcoin was the main reason that the market cap was going up. And so you could argue that we pivot, like one cycle is not like the last cycle, but it's like two cycles ago. So the cycle that people wanted this cycle might happen next cycle.
Now, when you say next cycle, like, give me a timing. Like, when is it next year? Is it in 2 years? Like, what
probably
is the
probably starting like mid to late next year.
Whoops. Okay, so I thought that was interesting. So he's thinking, look, things could just be different, where we get the cycle really doesn't start until next cycle. Next cycle will be the altcoin cycle, and just like it was in 2017, where 2017 it was mostly Bitcoin and some altcoins like Litecoin and all that. The major altcoin cycle really wasn't until 2021. I don't know if that's true or not. I just find that interesting that he thinks that, if we don't get anything this year, starting next year, we should go into an altcoin season. I'm still a big believer in this cycle. I still think we have room to go. I still think that Cardano is going to get up to $1.50 or $2. Another thing you also have to realize is, say you're talking about Cardano, for example. Cardano hit $3 when Bitcoin was only $20,000. So it doesn't really matter on the price of Bitcoin. Bitcoin can dump down to $70,000 tomorrow. Cardano can dump down to 30 cents. But Cardano can then, 2 weeks later, if Bitcoin gets a pump back up to, say, $80,000, Cardano can go right back up to $1. It doesn't really, like, for Cardano to get over $1 again, Bitcoin doesn't have to be at like $150,000. It really just matters where people are moving their money in the crypto market at that particular time. If people are more interested on altcoins like they were last December, where Cardano went up to $1.30, then they're going to put their money in altcoins, and something like Cardano is going to go up. But then, of course, since last cycle, it's all been pretty much been all Bitcoin, and basically these altcoins have suffered. So because I was talking to a friend the other day, he's like, well, I don't think Cardano is going to get up to $1 again until Bitcoin hits 150. I'm like, dude, Cardano hit $3 when Bitcoin was $18,000. It has nothing to do with that. It just has to do with where people are putting their money. Obviously, if Bitcoin hits $150,000, that money is probably going to flow into altcoins. But if we do go bearish for the next 6 months and Bitcoin drops down to, like, say, worst case scenario, $50,000, $60,000, and Cardano goes back down to 30 cents or whatever it is, that doesn't mean Bitcoin has to go back up to $130,000 for Bitcoin to go back up, or excuse me, for Cardano to go back up to $1. It just depends where people are putting their money. If people are feeling risk on and they want to buy these altcoins, that's where they put their money. It really doesn't have anything to do with Bitcoin's actual top out price, in my personal opinion. All right, is there anything else going on? Not too much else, guys. Like I said, the sentiment is crazy bad. Like I thought last week was the worst it was going to be, but it just keeps getting worse. Eventually, the sentiment can't get any lower, right? Like there gets to be a point where there's nobody left to complain anymore. Everybody's already complained. Here's another one. I sold everything I had. Every coin I own is gone. I'm completely out of the crypto market. I can't take it anymore. Aggressive dumping, manipulation. Everybody is so intense. Crypto is over. I'm out. Guys, these are all these overly emotional people are like this in every facet of their life. Every relationship they're in, they're freaking starting fights and screaming and beating their wives and just basically having mental breakdowns at every turn. They're driving in their car and some fucking guy cuts them off and they're putting their head out the window screaming and crying, like having full-blown temper tantrums. Like, these people you see complaining right now and having a mental breakdown are complete wrecks. And unfortunately, crypto, because there's no barrier to entry for crypto, you can buy cryptocurrency when you're a kid. A lot of these people are probably kids under 18 years old. Anybody can get in. So it's some of the worst freaking people are investors in crypto, some of the most emotional people, some of the most uneducated people, and just some of the most mentally ill people are investors in crypto. And unfortunately, we need those people to make money in crypto, because this same guy is going to come running back in the crypto once these altcoins start going crazy again. Once we have an alt season, all these people capitulate and they're coming back. They're not going away, guys. All these people have been in crypto for 3 years and they're now capitulating and selling everything. They're coming right back when altcoins start to go bullish again. They're going to buy right back in because they can't help themselves. They're overly emotional. If you're this overly emotional on Twitter when everything's dumping, think how you're going to be when everything's pumping. You're going to feel like you're missing the boat, right? You're going to feel like you have to get back in. That fear of missing out. And you're going to come running back in and buy all of your altcoins that you sold a few months earlier at a higher price. And we've seen it before. I've done it. I've done it myself. I'm not saying I'm even any better. I'm just older now, and I'm not as emotional. But what you're seeing on Twitter is full-blown capitulation. The question is, can it get worse? I guess it can always get a little bit worse. There can always be more people complaining. But like I said, this time last week, I didn't think it could get any worse. I thought the capitulation was so bad, that was it. That couldn't. But it just over the last week, it's gotten even worse. Like you go on YouTube comments, they're all negative. People, and also when you start to see people, shitting on their favorite influencer. So if you're like a Cardano guy and you have this great audience, or like, oh, keep up the good work, Cardano to the moon. Now all those same people are like, you got me wrecked. Why did I listen to you? I should have bought stocks. I'm telling you guys, it's like crazy capitulation. And like I said, there could be more room to go. We could dump further. But the one thing I'm noticing with Bitcoin is, I mean, we keep getting a pump back up to over $110,000. There is strong support here. These altcoins, I mean, you still got Ethereum at 3,880. If Bitcoin goes back up to like another $1,000, Ethereum's back over $4,000 again. So let's see what happens, guys. Let's not, throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like, why don't we just follow these 4-year cycles where we've made it this far? We're in November. November technically should be pretty good, and let's see what happens. And if in December everything's still shitty, then we're going to have to reassess. Then we can start talking about maybe holding for another 6 months, maybe looking at extended cycles, and maybe throwing out this whole 4-year cycle thing and trying to figure out what's going to happen. But as of right now, I'm still very bullish. I'm still holding for November. I think November and December are going to be very good. I'm already starting to feel good. I got some good news for a property I was trying to sell in Pennsylvania. So my November is already actually starting out very, very good, and I think crypto is going to follow. I'm just feeling it in my stomach. Doesn't mean it has to happen. November could suck. Maybe the 4-year cycles are over. Maybe the next 6 months are going to be absolutely horrendous in crypto. I don't freaking know. But for me, I've been following these 4-year cycles now since about 2018. I'm not going to stop now. Why would I stop? Why would I stop now when there's only 2 months left in this cycle? It's absolutely ridiculous. I'm not on Twitter complaining. I'm not emotional. If these markets are making you too crazy, go out for a run, go out for a walk, get another hobby. Crypto is maybe 5-10% of my life, if that, of my hobbies. I have other things I'm doing, other things I'm doing with friends. Like, just don't obsess over these markets. Give it time. Give it November. Let's see what happens. We got 30 days in this month to figure it out. Should be a good month. We got Thanksgiving this month. We're going into the holidays. It's always a fun time. And let's see if crypto does what it did for us last year, where we got that nice Santa rally last year for crypto. But I just personally think that these altcoins would be dumping a lot harder right now if we were going into a bear market. And I feel like Bitcoin, technically, if we were going into a bear market at this point, should probably be under $100,000, which it's not. It keeps pumping more. And the stock market's pretty much at all-time highs. So, everything's kind of lined up for Bitcoin to do well over the next couple months. And yeah, I mean, the negative sentiment you see on Twitter is what happens every time before we go into a bull market, guys. Every time before altcoins take off, before Bitcoin makes all-time highs, you have everybody on social media telling you it's all over. If you don't believe me, go on Twitter, go back to 2017, go back to 2021, go back to 2020, and look at all the comments. It's the same shit you're seeing right now. So nothing has changed. History repeats, and I'm overall bullish. Like I said, if everything still sucks in a couple months, we'll reassess it. For me, I'll probably just end up holding what I haven't sold until we get another pump, because we have Cardano ETFs coming out. We have new Fed chief coming in. We have interest rates getting lower. I mean, technically the market is lining up for like a risk-on market over the next 6 months with everything Trump is doing. So to me personally, I think you have to be a lunatic to be bearish right now. I think you have to be a lunatic to be selling all your coins. But to each his own. Look, everybody's selling all of their coins right now. Could be right. They could be right. It could be all over. But for me, I'm bullish. I'm holding. I think the next 2 months are going to do well. If they don't do well, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to go on Twitter. You're not going to see tears coming down from my eyes and where I'm having a big temper tantrum. I'm going to come in here in 2 months and I'm going to say, guys, we didn't get our price levels. We're still in good quality projects. We're not doing leverage. We're going to hold. We're going to hold for another few months going into the summer and see what happens. So that's how you have to handle yourself in these markets. You cannot be overly emotional. Nobody makes any money when they're overly emotional. It's also embarrassing. On a human level, it's embarrassing. So get a freaking hold of yourself, and let's see how November plays out. All right, guys, like and subscribe. Talk to you later.